Hello. Today we are going to revise our last lecture notes. I have them before me, and the most important thing is for you to understand the topic. Tomorrow you're going to have a test. I'm going to set a test for you based on what we have covered. The lecture notes is purely on crude oil processing facilities. We try to present why we have to have these facilities called flow station or gathering station. As I said to you in last lecture, in Nigeria it is called flow station. And so we need to look at the oil leaves Christmas tree and gets to the flow station through something we call pipeline, flow line. Which one is the correct answer? Is flow line. We have flow line, we have pipeline. But the one that is coming from the flow station, from the Christmas tree to flow station, is what we call flow line. Once it gets to the inlet manifold, the oil is separated according to the pressure regime. As we said last time, we connect high pressure wells to high pressure test separators. So if you look at diagram number 1, Fig 1, which is typical oil and gas production facility, which I have in my hand here. Oil and gas reservoir comes through what we call wet stream fluids to the inlet manifold. Now from the reservoir, oil, gas, and reservoir is subsurface operations. We are considering mostly surface operation, where we talk about oil and gas production. From the oil inlet manifold, we go to separation and stabilization of the oil. When the oil is separated from the gas goes to gas dehydration treatment and conditioning, while the oil goes to dehydration and desalting. The produced water is also sent to water treatment plant before water disposal / injection. The oil is sent to the tank farm. In terms of Nigeria, most of the oil produced are sent through the pipeline to the tank farm in either Bonny or in Forcados terminal. The gas needs to be compressed and treated before being sent to LNG plant in Bonny. So, what are the things you must try to do to make sure you cover the notes? Read the notes fully and understand what the note is telling you. If you have any question, you are free to send it to the class, Yahoo, Google Classroom, so that we can share any difficulty. But the note is straightforward. We look at the primary function of production facility. Why do we need it? What it does. We look at the specification of the oil we produce. What are the specification of the oil the refinery collects from the flow station? What are the specifications for the gas? What are the equipments used on the facilities? What are test separators used for? What are production separators used for? Why do we have 2-stage and 3-stage separators? You should cover all those. Then you look at API, the light crude, heavy crude, which one is best for the refineries and why? What are the maximum vapor pressure that is required of us from our production system? What about the water cut? And you should know, as instrument and control engineer, you should be able to know how this system works. The maximum salt concentration, what is the maximum H2S that is allowable, and how is H2S removed. These are all covered in the lecture notes. You should read the notes, read it several times, and try to represent the note in your own language. That is, not to cram it, but to understand what is being taught so that you can speak boldly about the flow station facilities. You should be able to even produce figure one by yourself, which shows the oil and gas production. You should know, as I said, difference between two-phase and three-phase separation. You should know the advantages and disadvantages of vertical separators and horizontal separators. You should be able to know the quality of oil and water and what percentage of oil in water is allowed to before the oil can be disposed to the sea or injected. Those are the areas you should read. And actually, if you read the notes sent to you and you understand the note, the test tomorrow will be very easy. But it's not going to be like the first test we did, which were just one word. This time you are going to provide sentences to show that you understand what you have read. If you have any difficulty, please let me know. The reason we set test is not to scare you or to fail you, it's to understand, to find out what you have understood in what we have taught. It is important for you, who is instrument and control engineer, to know how the processes are. As I mentioned to you earlier, in the industry, they'll give you a P&ID diagram or sometimes PFD diagram from where you put all the control system in. The P&ID diagram given to you will not have any control scheme. You will not see transmitters, control valve, controller, or anything in the diagram. So that's why you need to understand the process in a flow station. And I hope by the time you have read this, you have made sure that you understand what you need to know about the facilities in the flow station. You should be able to say from the wellhead to flow line, from flow line to inlet manifold, from inlet manifold, test separator, production separator, high pressure separator, low pressure separator, medium pressure separator, surge vessel, from surge vessel, pump, compressed to the flow line, to the pipeline, from gas treatment, gas will be treated, compressed to LNG, water treated, disposed of. So the facilities in a flow station should be at your fingertip. You don't need any book. You should be able to say it. If you are called for interview by Shell, Chevron, Mobil, or any of the oil industries, I'm sure you yourself knows that if it's you just say you read electrical engineering and they ask you what facilities do you think you meet in your place of work, you have nothing to say. And then they ask another student, what facilities do you think you get in our operation? And it start talking about flow station, start talking about inlet manifold, start talking about test separators, production separators, start talking about pumps. Then the employer will be more interested in the guy who knows something he's coming to do. So don't just look at it that you have to pass your exams. and graduate from the school. Look at it, some knowledge that you need that will be with you for the rest of your life. Thank you. God bless you. Bye for now.